We're going to continue now, in fact, with more chats here on the Sunday edition. We're wrapping things up with our final chat of the morning with Lebogang Mbewe, an interdisciplinary designer whose practice and creation is rooted in making meaningful plus expansive pieces where the visual language is central to the work. Of course, it articulates what is often a challenge to express in words, and that's the beauty of art. So shaped by tactility, color, pieces that explore the complex intersection between politics of race, between gender, and even spatial dynamics. These are pertinent conversation starters that need to be had, and each tapestry holds layered textures that echo the emotional labor of code switching and shape-shifting. And so we're going to have more conversations. Lebo joins us here in studio to share a little bit more about her work and the journey to date. Good morning, welcome.
Morning.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Look, the role of an artist is obviously to heal us and to have those much-needed conversations by providing a mirror for us to look and reflect, learn and unlearn.
Yes.
So that has been a poignant journey for you, obviously, in your work. And I wonder if you could reflect on the journey to date, how it's been using art as that piece to have these necessary conversations.
So I would say my journey through art has been a very fulfilling one, but it started in the beginning as a child. You know, I can recall being this child who spent so much time imagining, making, and really just sketching and painting. And, you know, I can actually recall that I'd spend so much time creative problem solving because I can remember it being my mother's birthday, and of course I was her broke best friend. I couldn't afford to buy her a gift, and so I'd taken some seashells that we collected from one of our trips to make like a frame with like a collage of pictures. And so I'd say that was the beginning of creative problem solving for me, and that's been like a segue into my architectural profession. And it's always just been about expressing what it is that I'm feeling, because for me art is more than a hobby. It's a visual language for me to really talk about things that I'm experiencing when words just aren't enough to say what needs to be said.
Sometimes words don't encapsulate the essence of what you're trying to evoke. I mean, we're looking at some of your work, the design, the tapestry, the textures, the colors. These are also much needed conversation starters. So, I mean, do you want to tell us what's evoked through that, the vibrancy as well? Is that mood dependent as well?
I think through color. I think that's probably I've come to realize that I actually think through color. I'm able to kind of decipher information in that way. So through color and patterns, I'm able to kind of come up with a kind of way of expressing the topic. So I think with these vibrant colors, and I think it's very opposite to me because I don't wear a lot of color, but but my pieces really are very vibrant, and I think a lot of these are around expressing passion. So this piece, I think, is called Firebrand, and I was really trying to express the fire and passion behind South African women and everything that we go through and the resilience, and even just the fire that we're facing the entire time. So I think, that was really the idea around expressing those experiences through these tapestries.
It speaks to our resilience, but it also speaks to the ongoing challenges as well. And like a phoenix, we do rise from the ashes. Fire tests gold, it makes it pure, but it's obviously it's also challenging those social constructs. Just perhaps before we get more into that, I wonder if we could even just look at the world of digital transformation, or this era we find ourselves in, how that has aided your work. Is it something that you genuinely tap into? Do you feel like you need to stay pure and just use, what your hands have been given? How do you balance that for yourself?
So I would say digital tools have really expanded my practice in incredible ways. So they've offered me an expansive canvas because I'm able to kind of experiment with layering, collaging and patterns, which sometimes takes quite a bit of time to get right by hand. And so I think that digital art and digital tools have expedited, that process for me. But I also don't see the digital and traditional craft as two separate things, because I constantly go back and forth between the two modes of working because they bounce off each other.
It's complementary. And
Yes.
I think this is what the gift of the tools, even AI and some of the other transformations that have come as a result. Human expansion.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you are also inspired by many artists that have come before. Brand New Day, Lebogang Mbewe. I mean, that was
Yes.
one of your big works.
Yes.
So how do you choose themes and inspiration as well for your work and tap into the essence of the emotion you're trying to convey there?
I'm going to speak to the Brand New Day piece. So that piece was really about capturing Lebo Mathosa's essence. I know she's like a very formidable force artist. She was a formidable force. And so that piece was really about capturing her essence, but it was also about translating sound into a visual experience. And so I think it was just about honoring her legacy, but it was also about, capturing that sound. And Brand New Day is a song that when you listen to, you could be having the worst day, and as soon as it comes on, it raises the vibration. So that was just about, experimenting with how art and music can kind of share the same emotional vibration.
Yeah.
But definitely about honoring her legacy.
And that's the point about the healing aspect that our art gets to do as well. Do you travel a lot to get inspiration? How do you tap into or get into the zone and become inspired by your everyday environment and people, places, spaces that you interact with?
I read a lot. Not
amazing.
so much the traveling, but I'm very involved in like research work and trying to connect to the dots through research. And I think because my practice is interdisciplinary, everything somehow kind of overlaps into one thing over the other. So I think I'm really inspired by everyday events. I'm inspired by my community, and I'm inspired by South African women who, are very formidable forces, who take up space, and who who aren't apologetic about it. So I think those are the things that really inspire my work.
I mean, books transport us into another world as you turn the page. And, we take up space. And if people are not clear about who we are, we make it abundantly clear. And that's what the world is actually looking for. And so when we reflect on the strides that have been taken, what do you think still remain some of the biggest challenges for you as a woman in the space that you operate in? What do you think has also been the biggest feats and celebrations as well?
So I say the challenges are really around navigating spaces that weren't necessarily designed with us in mind. Okay. I think that's probably one of the greatest challenges, because there's having to kind of shape shift within those spaces to kind of survive or make it through. And I think, those are the challenges, but I think the celebrations are also breaking through those spaces. I mean, we don't have too many Black architects who are registered, and I think that's one of the breakthroughs that we definitely need to celebrate. I would say.
Okay. Yeah. Where are you currently exhibiting? I need to wrap up. First, very quickly, where can we also get in touch with you for more?
So I currently exhibited at Sunday Best with Mana Africa, powered by Nike. But at the moment, I'm just devoted to creating a body of work that would find me should an opportunity come about at the moment.
And the conversations continue. So thank you for your work, and thank you for your design. Thank you for healing us, having these important conversations.
Thank you for having me.
Mbewe this morning, an interdisciplinary designer, of course, chatting about her work, her journey, and what else we can expect and where she's showcasing as well.